The Middle East is a tinderbox. Sparks have ignited a firestorm. Key figures in Hamas and Hezbollah are dead, eliminated in covert operations attributed to Israel. The region reels from the assassinations of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr. Fear hangs heavy in the air. Retaliation from Iran seems inevitable. A wider regional conflict? A terrifying possibility. The killings are a seismic event. They have shattered any pretense of stability. Hamas, fueled by rage and grief, vows revenge. Hezbollah, a powerful force in Lebanon, stands ready to strike Israel. The situation is volatile, a powder keg awaiting a spark. The world watches with bated breath. Will cooler heads prevail, or will the Middle East descend into another bloody chapter of conflict? The answers remain elusive, shrouded in the fog of war and uncertainty. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has sprung into action. Their response, a display of military might intended to deter Iranian aggression. The USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, cuts through the water, a symbol of American power projection. Alongside it sails the USS Georgia, an Ohio-class guided missile submarine, a silent predator lurking beneath the waves. This is no mere show of force. It is a clear and unambiguous message to Iran. Do not test our resolve. The U.S. Navy, a formidable force on the global stage, stands ready to defend its interests and its allies. The deployment is not just about warships and weaponry. It is about deterrence. It is about preventing a bad situation from spiraling into a full-blown catastrophe. The stakes are incredibly high, and the U.S. is not taking any chances. The international community has spoken with one voice. The violence must stop. France, Germany, Britain, and other world powers have issued urgent calls for a ceasefire. They urge both sides to step back from the brink. Diplomacy, they argue, is the only path to lasting peace. The release of hostages held by Hamas is another pressing concern. Their freedom has become a bargaining chip in a deadly game. The international community demands their unconditional release, a humanitarian imperative that cannot be ignored. The pleas for peace are heartfelt, but will they be heeded? The situation remains volatile, with emotions running high. The world can only hope that reason will prevail, but the path to peace is fraught with obstacles. Section 4, Gaza, a humanitarian crisis unfolds. In the Gaza Strip, a humanitarian crisis is unfolding. Thousands of Palestinians, their lives upended by the conflict, have fled their homes. The Israeli military, vowing to dismantle Hamas's infrastructure, has launched airstrikes and artillery barrages. The relentless bombardment has turned parts of Gaza into a war zone. Khan Yunis, a densely populated city in southern Gaza, has become a ghost town. Residents, heeding warnings from the Israeli military, have evacuated their homes, seeking refuge in UN shelters and makeshift camps. The exodus is a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict. The situation is dire. Hospitals are overwhelmed with casualties. Food, water, and medical supplies are running dangerously low. The international community must act swiftly to provide humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza, caught in the crossfire of a conflict not of their making. Section 5, a region on the brink. The Middle East, a region long plagued by conflict, stands at a crossroads. The current crisis, if not contained, could engulf the entire region in flames. The risks of a wider conflagration are very real. Iran, a regional power with its own ambitions, has vowed to avenge the assassinations of its allies. Hezbollah, with its vast arsenal of rockets and missiles, poses a significant threat to Israel. The Lebanese Shia militant group has a long history of conflict with Israel, and its involvement in the current crisis could have far-reaching consequences. The situation is incredibly complex, with a multitude of actors and interests at play. The potential for miscalculation, for one side to misinterpret the actions of the other, is high. The world watches nervously, hoping for a diplomatic solution, but bracing for the worst. Section 6. The world holds its breath. The world holds its breath, watching and waiting to see what unfolds in the Middle East. Will diplomacy prevail, or will the region descend into another devastating war? The stakes are incredibly high, with global implications. The conflict has already claimed countless lives and displaced thousands. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza deepens by the day. The world cannot afford to turn away. The time for action, for diplomacy, for peace is now. The coming days and weeks will be critical. The world watches, hoping for a miracle, praying for peace. The fate of the Middle East and perhaps the world hangs in the balance.